team's ability to handle a game where Asia is not able to dominate. Where would you guys rank your level of concern surrounding that, and how do you guys kind of fix that?
It's not necessarily my level of concern. I know we're capable, but not when we play like that. God forbid Asia doesn't drop 40 for us. But we had 12 assists tonight in 40 minutes, 12, and 12 turnovers. But you can start on the defensive end. Clearly we had no answer for Mitchell. Couldn't even attempt to slow her down a little bit.
Okay, this is wild. Becky Hammon is absolutely fuming with Aya Wilson after her performance in this first game. The Las Vegas Aces just got completely embarrassed. And trust me, Hammon was not holding back. Just moments after giving Aya her shiny MVP trophy, Wilson went out and delivered one of her worst games ever against the Indiana Fever of all teams. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell looked utterly unstoppable. Vegas fans, you better brace yourselves because the coach, she was not
A'ja
happy.
Wilson was presented the MVP today. Oh, they brought out all the bells and whistles for A'ja Wilson, bro. And I'm here to tell you, she played horribly bad. Now, we know that Kelsey Mitchell was nominated as the 5th player to be voted for to win the MVP. Now, we know, as of recently, Kelsey Mitchell.
So, the burning question, was this actually Aya Wilson's most overrated performance we've ever seen? Talk about a plot twist. Aya Wilson getting called out by her own coach right after a loss. That is absolutely not the headline anyone expected on an MVP celebration night, but here we are.
I know we're capable, but not when we play like that. God forbid Asia doesn't drop 40 for us. But we had 12 assists tonight in 40 minutes, 12, and 12 turnovers. But you could start on the defensive end. Clearly we had no answer for Mitchell. Couldn't even attempt to slow her down a little bit. I thought it was really poor.
Well, here we are, facing the undeniable truth. The Indiana Fever marched right into Las Vegas, totally exposed the Aces, and made Aya Wilson look anything but an MVP. And Becky Hammon, she didn't sugarcoat a single thing. The whole setup to this disaster was dripping with irony because, before tip-off, the league literally showered Wilson with praise, handing her that gleaming MVP hardware with every camera rolling. It should have been her crowning moment, the kind of night where she absolutely dominated and proved exactly why she's considered the best in the league. Instead, get this, she turned in a performance so utterly flat that Fever fans were outright laughing. Aces fans were groaning in disbelief, and Hammon herself was visibly fuming. But wait, it gets crazier. Across the court, Kelsey Mitchell was absolutely torching the Aces. Mitchell, who many doubted would even sniff the MVP conversation, played like she was personally determined to prove every single critic wrong. Every shot she took seemed to drop pull-ups, threes, drives, free throws. By halftime, she already had Vegas scrambling completely on its heels. By the end, she had literally made Wilson's MVP shine look like a cruel joke. Let's just rewind a second. Becky Hammon sat in that post-game press conference with a look of pure, unadulterated frustration. She didn't dodge questions. She didn't try to cover for her star. Instead, she spelled it out perfectly clear. The defense was non-existent, the offense was totally stagnant, and Wilson's shocking lack of dominance left the reigning Aces looking just ordinary. Hammon herself laid it bare, 12 assists in 40 minutes and 12 turnovers. That's not championship basketball, that's rec league slop. And the problem wasn't just Wilson missing shots. Hammon specifically called out the 9, maybe 10, missed layups, momentum killers, pure and simple. Combine that with Wilson's stunning inability to impose herself, and Indiana literally smelled blood. Now, let's seriously talk about Wilson's role in this whole mess. A 3-time MVP should absolutely not look this ordinary in a playoff setting. Sure, she had good looks, but just missed isn't good enough when you're supposed to be the gold standard of excellence. Fans don't want to hear about shots rattling in and out. They demand dominance. And what they got was the exact opposite. Meanwhile, get this, Caitlin Clark, no longer a rookie but in her second year, was running Indiana's offense with incredible poise, feeding Boston, effortlessly creating spacing for Mitchell, and keeping the Fever perfectly composed. It's wild to even say this, but Wilson didn't look like the most impactful player on the floor. She didn't even look like the most impactful forward. Boston outplayed her. Mitchell completely outshined her. And Clark, she controlled the entire tempo, and that's where the truly sarcastic twist comes in. Wilson might have the MVP trophy, but trophies don't win playoff games. Production does. And in this game, she honestly looked like she needed Clark to hand her a few lessons on how to actually show up under pressure. Becky Hammon wasn't just mad, you could hear the embarrassment in her tone. The Aces are supposed to be the juggernauts of the league, the team everyone fears. Yet, they looked like they couldn't even keep up with Indiana's pace. Hammon said it straight, they had no pursuit, no second or third efforts, no defensive pride. Screens ate them alive. And when she desperately tried small ball lineups just to spark some offense, the Aces immediately fell right back into